Shalom, Shalom Israel. This is Brother Yawana coming back at y'all with Lord's will, another edifying lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you brothers pushing and teaching this truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, peace, blessings, and many salutations be to you sincere Akyam wa Akwath, you brothers, along with you few sisters who are given all diligence in these last days. Right, to the mercy and grace of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, to his only beloved begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, coming back with another update and prophecy type lesson. You know, I'm currently en route to, to the job site or the plantation, as we like to say. And, I was pretty much reading through this article right here. And this is off of the People's Voice.tv. And it says, Canada rolls out social credit system. Non-compliant citizens will have bank accounts frozen. And for those of you who know about the social credit system in China, so I can cross the street. Those that know about the social credit system that China has, there's basically things that you can't do. And if you do, you'll ultimately be restricted from certain things, like, for example, jaywalking. Right? Jaywalking, littering. If you litter, you can ultimately have, your money pretty much withheld from you. Or they can give you a certain amount of money. Say you got $500 that you just worked for. Well, just, because you ultimately didn't live up to the standard and the rules and regulations of the government, you're going to now have to face consequences. Those consequences, one of them could come in the form of you ultimately having your funds withheld, only being able to receive a certain amount. You might not be able to go into certain stores. If there was a woman that lived over there in China, and she was basically explaining how her life is a complete hell if she doesn't stay on her P's and Q's. Basically she wasn't even able to go into certain stores to be able to spend the money that she worked for, because she had made some mistakes within the government standards over there. And basically why I'm bringing this out, or why it's important that we read this article today, is because it just goes to show you how close we are to the end. Okay, because those of us of the house of faith know that Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 through 17 is right around the corner, right? Where Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is going to ultimately make the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. He's ultimately going to make it mandatory. And if you don't take it, you're ultimately going to have to face consequences, okay, which comes in the form of you not being able to buy and sell. Now, we don't give a damn. But as we're bringing out this article, as I like to say to the Spirit, the signs are in the headlines. Okay, this is a major sign that this is just another major step towards them doing this in the U.S. Because although it may be in Canada, guess what? What happens overseas ultimately trickles down to this land. But let's read through it. It says Canada has rolled out a new social credit score system that will see non-compliant citizens have their bank accounts frozen if their score falls below acceptable levels. Okay, so non-compliant, those who aren't trying to get down, those who aren't trying to follow the new wave, those are the ones that are going to have their bank accounts frozen if their credit score falls below a certain number, a certain acceptable number to them. It says, in the aftermath of trucker convoy, the Trudeau regime is radicalizing the nation's banking system to make it impossible for citizens to express their opposition to government tyranny. Now, say you're ultimately protesting, okay, or bringing out certain truth concerning what the elites are doing, as we do through the Spirit. Okay, there are different agendas that they plan, to ultimately establish in the near future. Well, that right there, doing just that, can have your funds or your bank account frozen, man. It says proponents of the social credit score linked banking paradigm say it will make Canadian banks more inclusive, allowing them to easily access user data on demand while being able to share information with one another. A World Bank partner called Open Bank Excellence, OBE, which originated in the United Kingdom, is proudly boasting right now that it will incorporate social credit scores with people's banking information in Canada. Canadians will likely receive digital cash and identification and a convenient, all-in-one and inclusive place. You see, because that's the direction that Esau is trying to move here in Babylon. Okay, a completely digital society, you know, where cash, you know, is pretty much X'd out of the picture. It's about having the fairer, more inclusive, more open society, said OBE founder Helen Child, making sure to use all the popular buzzwords to make a project sound like a dream come true for the world, and that's what they do. You know, like it says in Psalms, the 55th chapter, their words were smoother than butter, words in their heart. You see, because, you know, she'll use all these different devils, man. You know, they'll use their words in a certain way, you know, when they're expressing what they're about to do, to ultimately soothe you, to make it seem like they have your best interest at heart, and what they're getting ready to do, already getting ready to implement, is so that they can make your life easier, when really they're just getting ready to make your life a living hell, man. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 16. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to overthrow thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. You see, and even the prime example, okay, of these devils speaking sweetly with their lips is the whole pandemic, okay, and all the different jabs. And, you know, they were ultimately trying to install fear in all the people of how dangerous this whole virus was, okay, and the side effects that can happen to you if you don't get jabbed. Okay, but what happened to more than 18 million people that received the jab? They're fucking dead, man. And there's people that are, excuse me for my language, but there's people still falling down dead today, man. Different soccer players, different sports players, different athletes. Okay, people on the news, man, you know, ultimately I took the jab, still having bodily convulsions and blood clots and all different types of side effects, man, that the CDC at the time of the pandemic said weren't side effects that were true. Just to years later come out and tell you that the same side effects that people have been reporting since the time of the pandemic that they denied were actually true the whole time. Okay, so, you know, these devils made it seem like, you know, and they even threaten, you know, the jobs, you know, they threaten the livelihood, they threaten your income. Okay, where if you don't take this jab, especially if you're in the medical field, if you don't take this jab, you're not going to be able to work and provide for your kids. You see, so these devils, man, you know, slack you out to my nose. But nevertheless, the point being, man, they say things to make it sound good, to make it sound sweet, but in their heart and their mind, they're imagining how they can ultimately have you trapped right in their claws, man. Okay, so let's actually go back to this article. It says, moving towards a cashless society. Disturbingly, OBE already operates in some 40 different countries, claiming that it aims to create exceptional platforms and content that promotes knowledge sharing, new thinking, and partnerships within the industry, categorizing the adoption of open finance and data for better financial inclusion worldwide. Child's use of the term open society is also disturbing in that this is the ideology championed by international billionaire and agitator George Soros. It implies open borders, no more prisons, and out-of-control crime without punishment, all of this substantiating progressive changes for the world. It says how forcing Canadians and others around the world to maintain high social credit scores in order to buy and sell constitutes inclusivity and fairness remains unknown. You see that? So, see, and that's something that stood out to me too, as it says, man. Let me read that again. How forcing Canadians and others around the world to maintain high social credit scores in order to buy and sell. Now, some of you may know where I'm going already, man. Okay, we know that we're still in the Passover until sundown tonight, sundown 24th, and then we enter into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay, but nevertheless, and I believe that's until the 30th, or at the 30th sundown. But let's go to Revelation 13th chapter. But why I said why I mentioned that how we just held the Passover, and the Passover ends tonight on March 24th, and then we enter into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It's because this is a very serious time. Okay, and a lot, is getting ready to happen, as we know. So we just have to keep our eyes peeled. But this is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. And what did we just read? How forcing Canadians and others around the world to maintain high social credit scores in order to buy and sell constitutes inclusivity and fairness remains unknown. You see, that's their ultimate goal. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You see that? So no man's going to be able to buy or sell unless you have that mark, which we know that word mark in the Greek goes to the Greek word charagma, okay, which goes into something engraved, something engraved into you, okay. And then you got the Greek word, or the root word of charagma, which is charax, which ultimately goes into a palicide, okay, which ultimately is what talking about what the syringe, the instrument used to insert the microchip underneath your skin. And then ultimately the word grapho, which goes into, you being recorded, okay, you being now, after you take that mark, now you're a part of a database, okay. Now you've shown your allegiance to who your God is, man. You see, but we hope and pray that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah will keep the spirit on us to stand against this devil and not bow the knee, okay, no matter what the hell he threatens us or threatens to take away from us, man. Okay, because you take that chip, guess what? You're gonna ultimately be what? You're gonna be guaranteed to die. Okay, so we know that this is what this is building up to. It says, let's go down. It says there is no easier way to control the masses than to control their access to money and their ability to buy, trade, and freely move about. Warren Slade News. The Canadian press came right out and just said what Child is clearly thinking, explaining that one of the biggest areas of growth in the financial sector has to do with credit assessments. Under open banking, lenders could directly access an individual's banking data so they can look beyond credit scores, the press explained. Consumers can also use it to build their credit scores, for example, by proving reliable rent payments. In other words, the goal is to assess something beyond just one's credit score in order to determine whether he or she is worthy to participate in the new global economy that the globalists are unleashing, right? The new world order. Because that's ultimately what we're coming into, man. Where these devils are going to ultimately set up a new system, okay, that's digital. All that spiritual too, called Law Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Just passing a car and it says light on it. Because we have the light, man. We have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, okay, of these scriptures given to us by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. So we know what this is leading up into, man. Again, the signs are in the headlines. So that's why we're always, keeping our eyes peeled and walking circumspectly, man. Reading these different articles because we're fastly approaching the time of Revelation 13 and 16 through 17 coming to pass. Right, this is just another step towards that prophecy, man. It says, keep in mind that Canada and what's a major part of the NWO that the elites plan to unleash, okay, is the RFID microchip, man. Okay, or as they said, CBDC implants. You see, that's what we're coming into, brothers. It says, keep in mind that Canada is big on prosecuting hate speech. One can only imagine how people found guilty of committing hateful anything will be dinged on their social credit scores. Yeah, if you're preaching so-called hate, which these devils deem misinformation and hate speech anything that's concerning the truth. But how much more if you're teaching the truth of the Holy Scriptures, man? You're really going to have a low credit score. And all that's going to do is make it hard for you to be able to live in society. But we don't give a damn, man, because, we've already left this place spiritually and mentally a long time ago. Okay, the Lord said, in those evils be ye even as pilgrims. So, right now, we're pilgrims and strangers upon the earth. And everything we receive, is from the Lord, man. The Lord controls whether we eat or whether we drink, not this damn devil, man. He might tell you that, because your credit score is so low, you're not going to be able to eat and feed your kids. But does that mean the Heavenly Father's not going to feed you? Hell no, it's not what that means, man. It just means the Lord's getting ready to set you up for a miracle. But in order for a miracle to happen, you have to be in a position, in a circumstance to be able to need one. Okay, so a lot of us are going to have to feel some pain for a little bit, man. But the Lord's going to have our back. Like it says, ye shall be merry and have abundance. Okay? It says, how people found guilty of committing hateful anything will be dinged on their social credit scores, disallowing their participation in anything called commerce or finance related. Okay, and this is the time that we're in, brothers. You see, but don't let it scare you, right? So, I think that was all I had through the Spirit. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to you. Akyam, Akwaku, till then. As always, before I close off, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you, brothers preaching and teaching this truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, till next time, Lord's will, I say shalom, stay strong, and keep the faith no matter what. Shalom.